All right, behind me I have my 2021 Chevy Colorado. It's the diesel 2.8 liter Duramax, and it originally started out as a Z71. I did a complete build video. I think it's like 17 minutes long, so it's a little bit of a long one, but I built the truck over 8 months. And this is my first opportunity to try to get to do a good walk around video. So let me take you through the truck. I don't even really know where to start, but let's just jump in. So I did a complete overhaul on the Chevy Colorado. Like I said, it started out its life as a Z71 package, not the ZR2, let alone the Bison. This is the AEV Bison front bumper. Again, it's an AEV product. It works really well. It has the additional bull bar here. I paint matched this to the truck, which took a lot of time and effort because it's a textured black, so the painter did a really great job of making the paint stick. And then I also did 3M. I did 3M covering the entire truck, so that way I can do some overlanding. I can have branches hit it and not get the pinstripes from all the outdoors. I have the rigid light bar here. I have the come up winch. I have the rigid 360 fog lights. They have the blue backlit when it's just running lights. And then I did a PPF, paint protection film, smoked over these to kind of make everything kind of match really well. Either it's the graphite gray or it's going to be black. I have the TRX grill that I got from the TRX brand. It took me a long time to find it. I just managed to find it online, and so I went ahead with that. I also put PPF around it. I had also powder coated it gloss black to match the rest of the truck. These headlights are a factory headlight that I took apart myself and reworked. I also have a rework video for that if you want to check that out. I painted everything gloss black. I did the smoked turn signals, but it still has the amber light behind it, so everything matches. The amber light is still in there when the truck's on, the turn signal works, but it's all blacked out without having to do a PPF over the headlight, which would give me a much dimmer driving visibility, and I didn't want to inhibit that at all. I put a projector, a Morimoto projector, I reworked in there. Anyway, go watch the video if you want to see all about that, but I'm not going to go through that entire build. Come around over here to the side of the pickup. Again, I continued with the AEV theme. So I have the AEV high mark fender flares. You'll see the installation of those in the video I did on the truck build over the last 8 months. It also has the amber side markers here, which I actually really like the look of. I have 37 12.5 R17 Toyos, and then I have the Method race wheels. I think they're the 17 by 8.5. And I have 2 combined lift kits on here. I have the BDS lift 5.5-inch lift kit with the coilovers, as well as the Baja. The Baja kit came with the upper and lower arms, as well as they came with the extended 4-wheel drive axle. Moving down the side of the truck, like I said, I did so much to this truck. The Boost Auto, sorry, I built this truck almost a year ago now, and so I'm kind of forgetting all the things that I've done because it's been so long. So I have the Boost Auto mirrors. I had them paint matched to match the truck. There's PPF over it. I smoked these lenses here, but it's also amber, so the amber matches the headlights and everything just matches really well. On the inside, it has the backup LED backup lights here, which are really bright and also really helpful for seeing down the side of the truck. I think I can also turn those on with the dome light in the truck too. These handles were originally black. The Z71 package in the 2021 year, these handles came black. I paint matched them so they'd look really nice. I have the amp steps. I have those installed. And then I also changed out the actual amp step lights, so they're really bright. Speaking of lights, I have the rock lights under here, and then I have ditch lights under the front. You can't really see right now, but you have those there. I personally love overlanding and I love snow. I'm from Oregon, so we get a ton of snow up in the central Oregon area. So we get a lot of snow there. I love overlanding in the snow, and that makes you have to dig out, and sometimes in the middle of the night, which I've done several times. And I never had any lights. I needed those at the time, and I needed some lighting to help shovel and everything. And to continue to the back half of the truck, again, the AEV high mark fender flares. Now they only make these for the short box, so that's why they have the gas tank cut out here, but my gas tank is here. They don't make them for the long box, so I just had to do what I had to do. Little things I like to do, I did on the top. I have a little bullet for the antenna, and then I also got a third brake light that's kind of like a smoked LED, which I really like because I wanted to keep the entire theme of the truck. The rear end, same with the 37's and everything, obviously. The 5.5-inch BDS lift kit comes with blocks in the rear, and then they give you new shocks in the rear. So there's nothing too crazy about that. Most of the cost of the lift is all the front end. I switched out the taillights. These are a smoked LED light I found online. Honestly, I think I found it on eBay. They were still like 300 bucks. They're really good lights. I haven't had any failure with any illumination or LEDs, because I know sometimes people buy them and within like 6 months there's some failure or some burning out of the little tube here. And I don't know how they manufacture these, but these actually turned out really good. I kept the original bumper of the pickup because I like having these steps here. I also like having my backup sensors. But I really liked the AEV rear bumper that had the cutouts for the backup lights. So I was able to actually cut through the bumper, and these ones are flush mounted rigid cube light. So these worked really well. So I also have some switches in the truck so I can turn those on and back up. This is all PPF, everything back here. I think even the back of the canopy I had done that way. This is just a Lear canopy. It's a utility canopy. The sides open up on either side. I'll prop this open really quick. The reason I got this is my wife and I have to travel a lot for work. She's the one filming. Thanks, babe. So I also like camping. This is a 6-foot bed, so I can lay flat. So can she side by side. I put the bed rug on here. The bed rug has foam, really nice thick foam that fills in the corrugated steel, the ripples, so it's really soft on your knees. Here doesn't have that foam, but it's still nice, a little bit of padding. This adds extra height. It kind of looks a little bit goofy on the truck, but fortunately for me, I found it was all black. I blacked out these handles here so that way they matched and kept it nice and stealthy. And we'll go around to this side. I have the exhaust done. I did some engine work and exhaust work. I'm not going to say what. I'm sure you all will understand why. Underneath the back of the truck, I want to show I did the AEV skid plate. The skid plate, but diff cover. I had that powder coated matte black to match the axle and everything underneath the undercarriage. I got their rear diff protection skid plate. I got the 589 shock mount skid plates just because those hang down pretty low even though the truck's lifted, and on 37's it still makes it has a little bit of a vulnerability there, so I'm trying to protect that. I considered doing all the AEV skid plate underneath, but we'll see how that works, especially with the BDS lift kit, because I don't know if it's all compatible with the drop down brackets and everything. In the back of the truck, there's a few things back there just because we had a snack lunch out here with Subway, but I did the wet Oakley seat covers. A lot of people give me crap about having the wet Oakley seat covers to cover this nice plush leather seats from the Z71 package, but I really want to keep this truck for a long time, or if I do ever intend to resell it, I can take those off and everything's going to look nice. I've had other full-size diesels with leather seats, and while moving I'll toss a box in there and something on the box will just catch and just scratch the leather, and I just didn't want to do that on a brand new $45,000 truck, hence why I also did PPF all over everything. Again, the lights here are super bright down below. Bouncing up to the front, you'll see my iguana hanging out with us too. So that's Petrie up there. We have, sorry for the mess. I usually keep this thing very spotless. But I have a window tint. I front matched the front windows to the factory rear window tint. I didn't want it to be too obvious because I hate being pulled over for stupid things. I also tinted the windshield a little bit darker up on the upper visor. So again, wet Oakley seat covers. I have the edge monitor all of the boost and everything like that. I got this cool Select Tech switch panel down here. So this is for the front light bar. This is for when I'm backing up the flush mount in the bumper. I have the rock lights in the wheel wells, and I have the ditch lights underneath the front and rear bumper. This is this front center locking diff. So I put in a ZR2 front locking differential. I'm just still working on the wiring. For some reason it's not quite engaging, so I'm going to try to take it to a professional and see if they can troubleshoot why it's not picking that up and what we need to do there. And then the winch power. Unfortunately, the winch power, it doesn't, I mean, I got this whole switch panel to use this winch power, but the winch actually has its own winch power button underneath the hood. I didn't know that when I ordered this because I wanted everything to be set in one place. All right, again, so this is the 2.8 liter Duramax. I have the AFE power intake. So this guy, here's the winch power box. You push that button, it powers it on, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And you can get a controller here, or you can also do it wirelessly with the come up winch. The intake box, I had to do some trimming around it because I needed it stable, a little bit more stable, but it wouldn't fit, the entire box wouldn't fit with this here. So it's a little bit exposed to the elements, but it is what it is. So let me go ahead and fire it up. Never mind, I'll start it manually. I was gonna show you my keyless start. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, but with the intake it made it a bit louder. I think people have been asking me about fuel economy. Before I put it on 37's, I did the intake and exhaust and some tuning, and I was getting about 37 miles to the gallon from Gallup to Phoenix, back and forth, and then that's a big elevation change as well. That was the best I've ever gotten. Usually it was like around 32. Before the intake and exhaust and everything, I think with it being completely factory stock, I was getting about 24 to 28 during the break-in period, and I think I was averaging about 28. The exhaust helped a little bit of sound. It made it sound better. The intake definitely made a big sound difference. Spooling up a little bit now. Have asked me also on Instagram and the comments is what spring rate I was running. So the BDS kit came with a 500-pound spring rate, and everywhere I looked said that spring rate would be perfect. But when I put it on the truck, I also talked about this briefly in the build video that I did, it completely just squatted and was resting on the bump stops, the factory bump stops. And then I went to 600, still the same thing. So I went clear up to 700 spring rate. This truck, the Baja kit, it doesn't have a sway bar. So driving on the freeway at high speeds and corners and stuff, you can definitely tell it doesn't have a sway bar. I may at some point in the future go to 750 to kind of stiffen that up a little bit in order to reduce the sway while driving on the road. But as far as driving off-road, the kit and everything's a dream. It's amazing. I mean, it definitely should be for the price of those two kits combined. But I wanted lift, but I also wanted some width on that as well, just because going with the height, I didn't want spacers or anything like that. I wanted some true wide track with the Baja kit too. I mean, not bad for a 4-cylinder 2.8 liter. Has a little bit of throaty sound to it. You can hear some of the turbo when it starts to spool up a little bit more. But the back of here I'm really excited about. There's some things I want to do with this for overlanding. And then there's those ones there right underneath, so that way I can see what in the heck I'm doing in the middle of the night when I'm shoveling. The Marimoto high beams are real bright. I also did a bypass wire. It's like a wire splice where you can have your high beams and the fog lights on at the same time. It was just like a little, I don't know, it was like a $2 piece online. that. Here's the lower arm, the upper arm, and then you get the giant cast iron knuckle from BDS, and then you get the BDS coilover, you get the Baja kit extended front axle, and then that's how much the coils are compressed at the 700 pound. This is definitely my dream truck. I'll do a walk around video and maybe post a video of it at night with all the lights and stuff. I'll make a short video with that too. But thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Again, if you have any questions, I like talking trucks, talking shop. That intake is much louder than factory.